Hey everybody, how many of you would like to be fully booked and every morning you wake up excited for the day ahead to serve your amazing clients at the highest level, loving what you do and having plenty of free time to do what you want, while you tap your chest and say, me, are fully booked? Somebody give me a yes in the comments. Okay, so for those of you who haven't met me before, is it okay if I share just a little bit of my story? Just everybody say, that's okay in the comments. So I was teaching in a chaotic school, living in a shared house with young teachers in a desert oasis town in one of the Arab Emirates, and it felt like a backwater. It was noisy, dusty, and hot and lonely. I felt lost and lonely, stuck and trapped, and I felt overwhelmed and deeply frustrated, procrastinating like nothing else, and feeling angry that at my age I wasn't further along in life by now. Have you ever been in a place when you're doing all the things, you're working hard, but you just felt stuck? Give me a me if that's you. And all the time, despite all my experience, something I didn't even realize, that wealth isn't attracted to working hard. That was the biggest realization. You know how when you're told by people older than you, who you look up to, they tell you go to school, go to college or uni and get a good job. I mean, how many of you heard that message growing up? Do they make the money and have the success and the fulfillment? I'm not sure. As entrepreneurs, as fempreneurs, we want our freedom. You want to be fully booked and to make your own choices and decisions. How many of you would rather not listen to the system and what they say, right? Give me a me in the comments. The thing is, to be an effective, successful entrepreneur, we need to become the master of our life. We need self-mastery skills. So Napoleon Hill, he said it like this: achieve self-mastery over your thoughts and constantly direct them toward your goals and objectives. Learn to focus your attention on the goals that you want to achieve and on finding ways to achieve those goals. And Wes Fessler, the famous American sportsman, he said, self-mastery is the challenge of transforming yourself from your own worst enemy, which is me, into your greatest ally. And I like to say it like this: excuses flee, purpose sets free, self-mastery achieved, life's ecstasy. So I'll continue with my story briefly now. And it all changed one day for me when I found out about making a living online with internet marketing. Could this be my open door, I wondered. And around that same day, the head teacher had told me that 2 classes were going to be merging, and I was free to go if I wanted. And my online career was conceived. That was a blissful moment. I left behind the dusty place where I felt stuck to become a digital entrepreneur. And on the journey, 5 years later, after wearing many hats online and learning so much in digital marketing, that my lifelong passion for personal development grew deeper. So how many of you know the 80-20 rule in entrepreneurship, right? 80 being the crucial self-mastery and 20 being the activities to get fully booked, right? So give me a yes if you know the 80-20 rule. So you know how when you do all the things to discover who you are really and to make your business work better. And right, so then everything changed again 2 years ago. And here's the thing, when I came across an amazing expert in human behavior and personal transformation, his work really does get the transformation for people. I'd seen the testimonials. So I so wanted that complete transformation for myself. It's not mainstream personal growth. The mainstream sadly tends to fall short when it comes to lasting results. And this is science-based, and it works long-term. It works in achieving lasting results provided we commit to it. Okay, so this was a no-brainer for me. I went all in, I got certified, and I've never looked back. Now I have it all. And have you ever found something you were so certain about, it was a no-brainer? You easily decided to go all in, right? Yes, that's what I did too. And so when I discovered this new direction, a new purpose, the relief was immense. I got a deep sense of peace, more joy, extreme happiness, and pure actual ecstasy. And above all, it was an overpowering feeling of bliss. And on the outside, I had my freedom. Finally, the thing I wanted the most: more freedom, more time, and a new profession. And so now the problems that I help people solve to transform their lives is to help get beyond personal limitations and behaviours that lead them to a far more meaningful, happy, successful and fulfilling life, just like I sort of found. Don't get me wrong, I'm by no means perfect. I'm still definitely on my journey, but just having found that direction, that the place where I can point my compass needle so that I know this is my focused intent, this is where I'm going, was just life-changing. It really has been. So now here is the roadmap, step-by-step system that got me to where I am and how I help others. So have you got your pen and notepad handy? I'll give you a minute to get that. So it's the self-mastery system, and it's 5 shifts you want to make. We've got about 10 minutes or so to get through this, and it's what you need to win. Okay, so there's 5 things. I'll go through those first and then I'll expand on each point. So the first shift, there are 5 shifts, is self-mastery beats knowledge mastery. Okay, self-mastery beats knowledge mastery. Number 2 is release your subconscious brakes. Release your subconscious brakes. Number 3 shift is break your cell inertia. Break your cell inertia. Number 4 is engaged neural conditioning. Number 4 shift, engaged neural conditioning. And number 5 is take effective action. And as fully booked fempreneurs, we know about that. Take effective action. So with these 5 shifts alone are enough to propel you from your current level of achievement and into a whole new world of success. Okay, so first of all, number 1, self-mastery. That it means it beats knowledge mastery. There's a lot of talk about knowledge mastery, but the fact is you can know everything, but if you don't know how to actually apply it, then it's data for later. You know, it doesn't really, it has no value. It's a little bit like if you buy a gym membership and then you get all the gear, you get all ready, psyched up for your new body and everything else, but then you don't have the self-mastery to organize yourself to get there, to fit it all in with all your other schedule. Okay, so that's self-mastery beats knowledge mastery every time. Number 2 is release your subconscious brakes. So that means we've got to install empowering beliefs and remove the I'm not good enough beliefs, which of course we're all not born with, but unfortunately we pick them up as we go along. So from when we're under 7 years old, we get the conditioning from our elders, if you like, and it's not their fault, it's just how we all are. It's exactly because they want to keep us safe and they say things that they don't realise the impact it's having on us. But at under 7 years old, of course, our brain is completely just a sponge and absorbs it all. So that's what we have to do. We have to get rid of those false self-limiting beliefs. And as other speakers have touched on this week, as well as Joanna Hunter especially. So yes, so we want to get rid of all of that, and so that we don't think we're not good enough, because we absolutely are good enough. You know, that's our biggest fear, is being told or feeling that we're not good enough about something, or we're not tall enough, we're not clever enough, we're not pretty enough, whatever it is. So we have to change that. And so because the fact is our outer world actions follow our inner world beliefs, right? That's what happens. Because everything starts with our thoughts. And it's like the ant and the elephant scenario. You may have heard this before, but our prefrontal cortex, our conscious mind, our brain is the ant. Imagine that's the ant, and it's running across the back of an elephant that's going in the opposite direction. And of course, the elephant is the iceberg under the water. And that's our subconscious mind. So our goal is to get the ant and the elephant moving in the same direction rather than the opposite direction, which is normally what most people live like because they don't know any different, okay? So that's shift number 2, release your subconscious brakes. Number 3 is before I move on to that, is the number 1 law in personal growth is you will never rise above the opinion of yourself, unfortunately. So that's why it's so important as well to raise our self-esteem, and how frustrating it is to be trapped in a life that you didn't even know that if you can't rise above the opinion of yourself, right? So that's an important thing to know. And so that's where we're building up our self-esteem until it's rock solid, unbreakable, unshakable, inherent self-worth that we have for ourselves. And so do you. And so does everyone. So if we live at that sort of plane of consciousness, then we can begin to operate at a higher level. And we raise as well our financial glass ceiling, because that could be a block for people as well. Okay. All right, so that's the release your subconscious brakes. Next is shift number 3, and it's the secret weapon of self-mastery, and it's break cell inertia. So that is, we've always done the same thing. Unless we change it, we won't change. But it's difficult. It's difficult to change. There's 2 laws, universal laws at play, and it's the law of conformity, which is the environment beats will all day long, every day, every single time. That's, for example, it said that we become the average of the 5 people that we hang with, right? So if we hang with 5 really successful millionaires, billionaires, then that's gonna rub off on us. But if we hang with people who are recreational drug users, we're gonna become more like them. So to break the cell inertia, that's what we're against. We're against that law. And so change is hard, and it's easier to be where we're at. So here we have to learn and work at our self-development. And so we use our champion voice over our inner critic voice. And we want to always champion the champion voice. So that's the one that's calling us to our greatest potential, and the one that we want to always listen to. We don't squash or repress or anything like that, the critic, because it's always going to be there. It's our ego. But we acknowledge it, say thank you, but we say no, thank you very much. I'm not going to listen to you today. I'm going to do my focused intent, move in the direction of my goal until I achieve it. And let's see, I'm going to do it. You know, that's the way we want to use our champion voice. So that it becomes the step before that. Then of course is self-awareness. We have to be fully self-aware and never give in to the excuses or the FUCK moments, okay? We don't do that. We really have to be self-aware and strong with ourselves. So we change the thinking. We literally become our own master, or our own boss, if you like, so that we're strict and strong with ourselves, and we keep our goal front of mind as our focused intent, and always point our compass in that direction. That'll get us there to our goals. So the neural pathways in our brain overcome self-inertia. So the more we use our champion voice, the more we're going to actually beat that cell inertia. So it's actually time to celebrate, because it's not you, it's your cell inertia. So that's what we have to know. And remember, Buddha said, if you want to fly, give up everything that weighs you down. And so self-mastery actually begins with cell mastery. Okay, so now shift number 4 is engaged neural conditioning. And so remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So we have to keep going. And as Bruce Lee said, long-term consistency beats short-term intensity, right? So we just have to keep being consistent and keep that goal in mind all the time. And with engaged neural conditioning, it's our brain, right? So we have to catch again our attention, hold our attention, train the brain to get past certain chemicals, because we have the sunny, warm, happy cells that produce dopamine and oxytocin and endorphins from a happy, light-hearted, self-trusting and self-assured attitude. Attitude is so important in all of this. And it's the cold cells that don't want to change are like that, because they live in a state of stress, fear, anxiety, and they produce stress hormones, cortisol, adrenaline, and aging hormones. So we have to get past the cell inertia, and we have to get out of our own way, even if we don't feel like it. And there is a price to pay for an amazing life. But this is what all successful people have done. They've worked on themselves, they've conquered themselves, okay? And they've got their self-mastery. So it all boils back down to our thoughts. So be very aware of the thoughts that you choose to think. Use your higher self to be self-aware, right? That's what we want to do. Use our higher self, our crown chakra, to always be on the lookout, observing, and observing ourselves especially. And as Marcus Aurelius said, the Roman emperor, your thoughts govern the quality of your life. So choose them wisely. And we want to get the ant, our conscious mind, and our elephant, the subconscious mind, in alignment. So they're both walking the same direction as I mentioned, okay? So that means we're moving our thinking from poverty to success, scarcity to abundance, feeling unworthy to having inherent self-worth, from negative to positive, from depressed to confident, and from a victim consciousness to an unstoppable through me consciousness, okay? And so then that's the old direction to the new direction. And then we have shift number 5, which is to commit to effective action. And I like this analogy that a human being is like a bicycle. With no motion, it literally falls over. So as human beings, like bicycles, we need motion. So that translates as momentum and purpose, all right? So how many of you feel better when you have momentum in your business and purpose to your life? You have a different energy, you're fully booked, and you have a different gait, a spring in your step, and others notice your energy and your different way of being. So this often means getting a mentor or a coach or enrolling in a program that's proven to get the fully booked results that you want. But it all starts with this, self-mastery, okay? And so a quick recap. So what you need to win is self-mastery beats knowledge mastery every time. Release your subconscious brakes, break your cell inertia, and use engaged neural conditioning. Take effective action, and with these 5 shifts alone are enough to propel you from your current level of achievement into a whole new world of success. I've got some testimonials from somebody who went through the program here about procrastination. They said once self-mastery kicks in, procrastination walks out of the door. And another said, I signed up for the program because I had suffered from imposter syndrome, which held me hostage for a number of years as I entered into a new industry. But I was given the tools, the guidance, and the support to move past that limiting belief. And somebody else said, I have much lower stress despite making some large changes in my life. And I understand myself and others at a deeper level. And somebody else said, you can't put a price on your evolution into more joy and fulfillment. This program will get you there, okay? So my invitation is, by now, how many of you are asking yourself the question, what's next? Well, today I just have a freebie. It's jam-packed with value. It's actually a toolkit that gives you some tools that you will need to help you become your own master, to crush it in your self-mastery game, all right? It's called Elite Mentorship Success Toolkit, and you can pick it up at this link, bit.ly, bit.ly/master toolkit, bit.ly/master toolkit. And of course you can find me on Facebook, Instagram and LinkedIn. And I've got a group as well called it's called the Fulfilled and Harmonious Women in Business. That's our community. And I've got a quick poem to rush through before, excuse me, I say goodbye. If you can hear the whispering about you and never yield to deal in whispers too. If you can bravely smile when loved ones doubt you and never doubt in turn what loved ones do. If you can keep a sweet and gentle spirit in spite of fame or fortune, rank or place. And through your win, your goal or only near it can win with poise and lose with equal grace. If you can meet with unbelief, believing, and hallow in your heart a simple creed. If you can meet deception undeceiving and learn to look to God or the universe, your higher power, however it is for you, God is a universe, for all you need. If you can be what girls should be to mothers, chums in joys and comrades in distress, and be unto others as you'd have the others be unto you, no more and yet no less. If you can keep within your heart the power to say that firm, unconquerable no. if you can brave a present shadowed hour rather than yield to build a future woe. If you can love, yet not let loving master, but keep yourself within your own self's clasp and not let dreaming lead you to disaster, nor pity's fascination loose your grip. If you can lock your heart on confidences, nor ever needlessly in turn confide. If you can put behind you all pretenses of mock humility or foolish pride. If you can keep the simple, homely virtue of walking right with God, then have no fear that anything in the world can hurt you, and which is more, you'll be a woman, my dear. So yes, self-mastery is a way to set yourself up to win. Have a great one. You've been awesome. You can find me, as I said, on Facebook, LinkedIn. I have a Facebook group, Fulfilled Harmonious Women in Business. And that freebie, I would love you to get hold of that for yourself. It's bit.ly/master, what is it? I lost. Master Toolkit. Thank you. And you've been awesome, I say. I love you guys. Okay, thanks so much, Kelly. I better go. I've run over 1 minute. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone. Have an awesome festival. It's been absolutely huge. I loved it. Love it still. Bye.